Welcome to the Mandcave, the only podcast hosted by two best friends with nothing in common except their first names. I'm Mandy Kaplan.
And I'm Mandy Fabian. Every week we test the limits of our friendship by arguing over books, movies, TV shows, audio things, and all of Mandy's dumb ideas. Grab your couches. Let's get to it.
Wait a minute, cut this shit.
Audio things.
Yeah, there's there's podcasts, there's books.
Mm-hmm.
You
Okay.
know,
Audio
there's the
things.
times, well, you're not actually watching, something and you're just listening to it. I just threw it in there.
I feel like Audio Things is a good name for your punk rock album when you're ready.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I've already got my torn fishnets and my Doc Martens.
Ow!
That I'm having a heck of a time breaking in. If anybody wants to go on the Discord and give me a tip. Like, does anybody have Doc Martens that are actually comfortable out there? Because they're supposed to be these amazing. Like, I thought, I'm going to be on set directing. I'm going to need really comfortable shoes. So
Doc
far,
Martens is what you went with?
Well,
I never could pull those off. I wanted to. Back in my too much eyeliner phase, I thought I'm going to wear Doc Martens. I could never pull them off.
I got to tell you, I think you're very cool, but I would agree with you on that.
Right. I'm too Marsha Brady.
Yeah. You just can't pull off Doc Martens. I on the other hand, can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's on brand. In fact, I wore Doc
Agreed.
Martens to the SAG Awards this year.
Oh. See how
It
she
was
mentions red carpets every chance she gets?
It was dumb, though, honestly. I was the dumb, AV geek who was in her Doc Martens and a ball gown. I was like, no, you haven't earned that right.
And where did you clip your carabiners? What? I'm going to cough.
I would wear a tool belt to everything if I could.
God love ya. So hot.
Yeah. I love a person in a tool belt. When I say person, I mean men or women.
Of course. I know.
So hot.
Mandy hired a hot female handy woman to come over
a handy
and
ma'am.
fix things.
I have such a stupid crush on her. It's so hard for me not to harass her every time she's in the house. I follow her around. I'm like, oh, look at you. You could just fix hinges.
You're just smashing things. Oops, there's a hole in that wall now. Guess you have to come back. It's
exactly.
Like when I broke my toe and I went to the hospital and there was a hot doctor, Dr. Reed Bracken. And you were like gouging your eyes out to try to get attention from him. And yeah.
That was the one time I was glad I went with a friend to a hospital.
Yes. I was so glad you were there.
That was hot.
So you dropped the SAG Awards red carpet, but I would rather talk about the red carpet at your film's world premiere in London. How was it?
It was awesome. I mean, it was really, really fun. It was a great festival. Audiences were so nice, and they're really, really nice. I mean, really polite the way that they, it was fun. Half of the cast was there, not all, but half of them were able to come over with their parents and their sisters, and people brought family. My family was there.
Aww.
It was not my kids because I'm not an idiot,
right?
But everybody else in the family. It was just, London is so magical. It's so Harry Potter, Wizard World.
Mm-hmm.
You feel smarter when you're there. You feel classier. Everybody wears nice shoes. It's a thing, And they're really into the arts over there. Not in a way that's competitive and who can make more money and get 1 million followers, but just genuinely into the arts.
Yeah.
As a theater with a lot of actors I recognize from European television. I'm practically British.
You're
know that.
So fucking classy. It's Yeah.
It was great. I had North African cuisine a couple of times.
Hello.
Did you even know there was a specific northern part of Africa? I didn't. But you go into those restaurants.
I'm a big Toto fan. So I bless the rains down. I mean, I know a lot about,
yeah. I knew about the land from down under because of Men at Work, but I didn't know about Northern Africa. Yeah.
Right. Well, you've brought up Vegemite a couple times. I thought that was a Australian thing, but you were getting it in London.
So I think a Vegemite is New Zealand and Australia, but Marmite.
Sorry, I
Marmite.
got confused.
They sell cheese and Marmite sandwiches at Starbucks. Now I can't remember. You didn't have Marmite when you were over there,
I don't
right?
think so. I don't remember what it is. I'm
picturing
quince paste.
I actually think you would like it. No, it's not sweet. It's salty.
Oh, I like
and it's
salty.
loaded with vitamin stuff. And it's got this really like tank. You know what? Oh my God. All right. We're going to watch something together. I don't know. We're going to watch something together and I'm going to I have little packages of Marmite.
Okay.
I'm going to bring them over or you can come to me. We're going to make a toasty cheese and Marmite sandwich. I'm going to see what you think.
Okay.
It's that English cheddar. Like they buried it in a ground like right before World War I think. I mean, I didn't do a lot of research on it, but that's my guess.
Yeah.
It's their English cheddar is just so good.
Yep. You introduced me to it, to that gritty, sandy, like Dubliner cheese. Yeah.
Ugh, I did? I introduced you to a cheese?
Many moons ago. Yeah.
Oh my God, we've known each other for 100 years. That seems impossible. I feel like you were a toddler trying cheeses.
Of course I was, but I had never had Dubliner until I knew you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So anyway, thank you for asking. It was amazing and fun, and we got a lot of really good reviews, and people enjoyed it, and it was great.
Yay!
It was really great. Yeah.
I can't wait till our Fandy Nation can see this movie.
I know.
Very exciting.
I know. The way it works these days, it's really annoying because people are like, okay, when can I watch it? And you're like, soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we'll let you all know.
We will.
Well, I took in some culture.
Okay.
I watched Shazam! Fury of the Gods the other day with Casey.
Cool.
Out in theaters now. And
nice.
I loved this movie. And here's why. So you're not familiar with Shazam, I'm assuming.
From when I was a kid.
Okay. I wasn't. He's
Sort
part of the DC world, not the Avengers world. And they made a movie about 3 or 4 years ago with Zachary Levi as Shazam. And I've seen that. Yeah. And he's hilarious. And there's so much humor. It is a superhero movie. I tried it thinking maybe it wasn't, or maybe it was a parody of one, but it is a straight up superhero movie. But the laughs are real and frequent. And this one was even funnier. Helen Mirren plays an evil ancient Greek god. Her sisters are played by Lucy Liu and Rachel Zegler, who was Maria in West Side Story.
Yes.
And the 3 of them are these evil sisters. It is such beautiful, diverse casting. The movie's so diverse. And it made me laugh out loud throughout. So I'm giving 4.5 man jobs to Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Okay.
Right?
I love that. Yes. Did you see the first Shazam? The latest? Oh, you did. Did you like the first one as much?
I liked the first one a lot. This one
like this
made me laugh even more.
Yeah. This is like, so I felt that way about Aliens. You know, there was Alien and then Aliens, the second one, which I thought was way better than the first one.
Oh, all right.
People would disagree with me on that, but I'm right.
Well, that happens. We've heard people like the second one. I don't know if you're serious about Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen those movies. Oh, okay.
Oh, God. You haven't seen Aliens with Sigourney Weaver? Oh,
No.
my God. You would love it.
No, I would not. Outer space and sci-fi. No.
Wait, what do you think Shazam is? Real life? You think that's like a coming of age family comedy?
Aliens, too sweaty. I've seen it's too sweaty. I don't want to see it. The other thing I watched, other than the thing I assigned you, which no one knows what I assigned you because I did it on back channels through text when you were out of the country. So this is an exciting reveal coming up.
Yeah.
But I watched a movie that is about 4 years old as well called 8th Grade. Bo Burnham's written and directed by.
Yes. I saw that in theaters.
Yeah. And I had been afraid to see it. People had said, oh, it's so disturbing and you're a parent and it's just too upsetting. Don't see it. Or, or heads up.
Right.
I did not find it all that disturbing. I found it inspiring that this young lady resists all the temptations of sending dick pics and giving this kid a hand job in the backseat of a car. She stands up for herself and doesn't jump off the ledge. She puts her toes over the ledge so many times. And I was like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And then she doesn't. And I was really proud of her and I was really moved and I really enjoyed the movie.
Oh, God, I loved that movie.
Yeah.
I think what was terrifying about that movie was just the fact that she's put in that circumstance where she likes a boy and then he's trying to get her to give him a hand job, like stuff like that. And also the very idea that I think before that, we hadn't, not everybody had considered. I certainly had not, as a parent of an 8-year-old, I guess, because it was 4 years ago.
Right.
I had not considered, and this has been a huge influence on giving my kids phones, is this idea that a kid could go, oh, what's a blowjob? And instead of coming to their parents or asking a friend, they're going to Google that.
Right.
And that was like, oh, no, there are certain things you want to be able to communicate in person. That's not, that was the first time I thought, oh, God, right. They could hear anything and then just look it up. And that was part of the alarm, I think, and all the pressure to be
from every angle. Yeah.
And I actually saw Bo Burnham speak about that movie. And the reason that he wrote it was because he was a huge internet phenomenon, right? He was a kid who played all these songs and he became this giant success. He went on the road. But and all of these 8th grade girls, like all these 13-year-old girls were coming up to him and basically saying, you're writing me. All your songs are about how I feel.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I wondered, as a straight white male in his mid to late 20s, how he knew the mind of a 13-year-old girl so well. And a parent, the dad is fantastic. He got in their minds so beautifully.
I was very surprised to hear that he was straight. Actually, I did not think he was straight. But it doesn't matter. He was he quit. He left the internet and had suicidal problems with it. He was very rocked by his need for likes and attention and all that. Went back, reassessed, and then wanted to write this girl experience that apparently he had been, he had been tapping into.
Right.
And that's why he did the movie. And I thought he handled it so sensitively and brilliantly. And it was like the most kind of female gaze movie that I'd seen come from a guy in a while.
Yeah, he's a real special talent, too. Did you ever watch, I wish I had the name of his first TV show.
Inside. Was it Inside?
No, I love that. But I'm talking about his first TV show on MTV. It was so smart. And it was so ahead of its time. Let me get the name of it.
No, he's so ahead of his time. Like when I saw Inside, I thought, oh my God, I'll never be that brilliant.
No, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
So this show was called Zach Stone is Going to Be Famous. And he, I can't recommend it enough. He blew up the idea of reality TV. You know what I mean? Like it was, I'm just this douchebag kid in my living room, but I'm going to make a reality show. And it was very smart, very clever. It's not a perfect show by any means, but I really enjoyed it. I found it just a couple years ago. After Inside, I was like, I've heard his songs on the radio on Comedy Central or whatever, but I wanted to dive deeper into Bo Burnham. Zach Stone is going to be famous.
Wow. What a nice tip. Thank you.
Public service announcement.
Well, I did catch up on some of the things.
Yeah.
Just before we get into what we watched this
week.
Please. I watched, I started listening to Randy Rainbow's podcast and book.
The book is wonderful.
He's such a good writer.
Yeah.
I love that he's like, I'm not a novelist by any stretch. I'm like, I could just listen to you talk all day.
Yeah.
And I love him describing his growing up. Like he never felt, while his dad was supposedly shocked at him coming out, he never felt like his parents did anything but encourage him. He's like, I don't know why he was so surprised. He hand glued rubies onto some slippers for me so that I could play Dorothy. He's like, where this came from that somehow I could.
With pajama bottoms on his head as his long hair when he was doing he's so.
I love it. So anyway, that was great. But I also listened to the Chelsea Handler special, which thank you, because I loved it. And I didn't know. Yeah. And I didn't know that I liked Chelsea Handler. Like, I mean, I didn't dislike her by any means, but I thought she was more of like a Joan Rivers kind of like, I don't know. I thought she was more like the bitch sort of sassy comic.
She can be.
Brass. But I thought she was more shock humor. And I found her stuff to be so hilarious and insightful and self-deprecating. Mm-hmm. I loved it. But I could not, for the life of me, I have no idea which story was the one that you were like laughing so hard, splitting side. Because I laughed at all of it, but I was like, which one is it? So I have to know now.
It was, so she tells a story about how she got a UTI and she gets, she gets a 1-dose pill that instead of Monistat 7 for 7 days, she gets a 1-dose pill. She swallows it. It gets stuck in her throat. It's she's like, it's a horse pill. I'm drinking water. It's like stuck there. And as she's talking, I know where it's going. And then she looks at the box and it says, not for oral use, for vaginal use only.
Only, right.
Okay. And then she's texting her doctor about, will it work no matter what hole you put it in? And the doctor texts back, what hole did you put it in? And I was dying laughing. And I was watching with my dad, which was just even more delightful.
Oh my God. Okay, that's the one. Yes,
loved that story. I liked the whole special. She says a lot of funny things. She also, I find her to be, I don't know, anti-kid, and she's negative. So she's not my favorite by any stretch. But that story made me howl with laughter in a way that I don't usually. So,
oh my God. I loved her stories about her rescue dogs, about the fact that she didn't know how the sun and the moon worked. And I didn't know that she was dating Joe Coy.
They broke up.
Joe Coy.
You got to keep up, Mandy. You got to keep up.
Well, at the end of the special, it says, I still believe I'll find my someone. Like, she talks about him in the special, and then there's text at the end that says, by the way, because if you are like you and you know what's going on, know Joe Coy and I are no longer together. But
yes.
In the special, she was.
Yes, she was. And I also love the line, somebody tries to fix her up at a party with this douchebag and he's wearing like a hipster hat. And he walks over to her and she hates him so much. Like his energy was awful. And he's like, so you like music? And she's like, yeah, Nickelback.
But you know what? Why is that funny? I didn't quite get it. I got that it was supposed to be a joke, but I didn't get it. What's Nickelback?
Nickelback is universally loathed music, like late 90s. He thought he was grunge, and it's just the worst garbage music. And anyone who's into Nickelback, you don't want to hang out with. There's a hot take.
That's kind of what I figured. The name sounds kind of like that. What's the band? Oh, Hoobastank. That's the band that had that heartbreaking song in the 2000s.
Yes, and you wanted to call your band Stecky Stank when your last name was Steckelberg.
Holy shit. I am a genius.
You are.
Genius.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for reminding me. Look out, Bo Burnham. All
right. While we're talking music, let's tell the world what we watched and have Pete play the trailer for a new series on Hulu called Up Here.
Did we wake up at the same...
I've been up since 4. I've been thinking a lot about this. New York is where real writers live, and I am starting to think that I am a real writer.
Why didn't you tell me?
Do not say it.
Careful now.
Keep it to yourself, Linz. I just have all these voices in my head all the time.
Now you've done it.
Nice pants.
Thanks. They're new. I mean, they're not new. I wear them a lot.
Sounds like they have a very rich history. I know exactly what you're going to say.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Just enjoying the view. You don't need her. Mama's here.
Okay, that's creepy.
It's great to really get someone to know something back and inside out.
That's when you can really trust someone to understand what you are all about.
I came here to focus on myself. This could be a life-changing opportunity.
You have no reason to believe that.
What about this reason? It's funny, the devil's actually a very misunderstood card.
Did you always want to be a writer?
I think I always knew I had something to say, but just afraid no one wanted to hear it.
She doesn't like you. She just thinks you're rich.
Hey, don't listen to her. You're doing great, buddy.
What are you thinking about?
Nothing.
I've listened to so many different people telling me who I should be.
What are you doing?
It's different with Lindsay because she's special.
That is actually very sweet.
It's time to give up and come home. I belong in this city.
You've been hit by 3 cabs.
At very low speeds.
All those voices floating in her head, saying no in a million different ways, they don't see what I do.
She doesn't appreciate you. She doesn't deserve you.
This isn't your life. This is my life.
I am sick and tired of everyone telling me what I'm supposed to do. I need to find my own story. You're gonna be okay?
I can handle it.
So it is a musical series, as you could hear from the trailer. And they really touted, brought to you by the people behind Book of Mormon, which is the Lopez's, Kristen Anderson and Robert Lopez, and a guy named Steve Levinson, who I'm not familiar with.
I always forget the Book of Mormon people, that the same Frozen people, because it's the Frozen people, right?
Correct.
It's crazy. That's quite a crossover.
That's a range.
Yeah.
they got range. And they keep saying the director of Hamilton. The trailer is playing on mute on my thing right now because I have the IMDb up. And it's the director of Hamilton. It's Thomas Kail, the guy who directed Hamilton. But it has nothing to do with Lin-Manuel Miranda, which I feel like they were trying to get you to believe it might.
Right, of course.
With the trailer. But so it stars Mae Whitman and Carlos Valdez. And they are both winning and charming. And it's a bit, not Harry Met Sally, but it's just, are these two crazy kids ever going to get it together and be in love?
Yeah.
And they are both haunted by their inner voices who they each have three and they sing at them and they follow them wherever they go and interfere with their choices.
That's thus the title Up Here, because it's the voices, they're talking about their minds, like what's up here in their brains.
Yeah. It doesn't take place like in Alaska.
Yeah. Or in space, because you wouldn't have watched it. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. And I thought that was a really fun device. Like when I saw the trailer, I was like, a team of people that represent your inner voices. That's really a cute idea.
Did you ever watch Herman's Head, though, on Fox?
No, I never did.
They tried it after The Simpsons for a couple of seasons. It was very charming. And that's exactly what it was. So we have seen this before.
Was it animated?
No. It was a sitcom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
But
you mean after The Simpsons, it physically came on after The Simpsons?
Yeah. It was like, because, they kept trying to find things to use The Simpsons as a juggernaut and whatever else is on will succeed. Herman's Head did not. Hank Azaria was in it.
Well, I feel for Hank. I think he's such a talent, but I think he's got a bad reputation and maybe limited limits to that talent, I think.
Yeah. But I was like, I was not blown away by the device of the voices because we saw it on a sitcom. I know I'm going way back and you're allowed to reuse a device, but they didn't justify it in the first two episodes. Why were they hearing voices? And I went ahead and watched the third episode. They still don't justify it.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to. I felt a little bit like, I loved the leads. Carlos Valdez. Oh my God. Okay. So I didn't see The Flash. I don't know what he's famous from.
Yeah,
I assume he's famous from something.
The Flash.
Oh my God. That face. Oh, I could hear him talk and watch him have emotions and speak words forever and ever and ever. I want to watch him eat. I think he's a movie star. I like that you got
sexy voice when you started talking about him. You were like,
Did
Carlos Valdez. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just think I think he's infinitely watchable. And I also think that Mae Whitman is very talented and watchable as well. Like her little eyes, you just fall into so I really love the two leads and I like their chemistry, but there was a little bit of with those voices, I was like, wait, what's the girl from high school doing here though?
Yes. Why is there a girl from high school for both of them?
Yeah. It felt a little thrown together. And whereas I think the device is really cool. I love mystical people that aren't there, talking to dead people, all that stuff. I love that shit. So,
are they all dead?
No, they're not dead.
So why are they in their heads?
Well, I just think they are people who, I think what they were trying to show is that they made an impression on them, right? Like that, I'm not even sure. Her parents might be dead, but I don't think they are. I think it's just like, I have said this many times, like, with your parents, there's a really, because I have friends who, have much older kids, like in their 20s, right? And they're like trying to balance that thing of like not really being a parent anymore because they're like, they're so offended if I try to give them any advice at all. And I'm like, because there's a weird thing. As long as you're the parent, you're always going to supersede their own knowing, right? You're always going to be the voice inside their head that they're going to think is authoritative no matter what. So I think that's why the parents were there.
Can I say, though, that Casey will not brush his goddamn teeth unless I tell him to? Like, I'm going to have to move in with him in his 20s and 30s to remind him to brush his teeth in the morning.
Can I write that sitcom? We can write it together.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds great.
And God help him if he's still got a retainer. I'm going to have to go to work with him. This kid. Different issue. Okay.
I would really enjoy that if he was in his 30s and you were like, well, we're going to the office. I got to jump off the phone.
Yep.
But it definitely would be a musical if it was you two. I just thought that it could have been, I think it would have been fun to have like rotating cast of characters for the voices, right? Like, to have the different incidents in your life inform you in certain ways so that when you're, there's a different person who's in your head for a work problem versus a relationship problem versus like during sex, right? Like, I that maybe would have been fun, but there was a little bit of I also did not have the connection of like, but why are these people? I mean, I get the parents, but also why two parents? Because they weren't on totally different pages. It's not like the parents are always fighting, right? So you could see where she would have a conflict and think that nobody could ever agree. It wasn't connected to like the character as much.
And I found them to be very one note. Andrea Burns, who plays his mom, all she says is, "You're perfect. I love you. Look at you. I love you. You're perfect." I feel bad for her as an actress that they're not using her in any other way. And then the male voice in Miguel's head, played by Scott Porter, who I was watching and I'm like, I know this guy. He must be a Broadway guy. I know him. No, he's Jason Street from Friday Night Lights. Man, can he sing.
He can really sing. They can all really sing.
Yeah.
I was impressed at that.
Yeah.
I will say it was overall, like, I loved the musical numbers. Holy crap. When he comes in, I think the musical numbers are where it really pops, right? Like, not all the songs are the best, or they're good songs, but there's a little bit of like, it does have that feeling of, we're just going to have a song here now, as opposed to it moving the plot forward and moving character journey forward.
A lot of slow songs too.
Yeah.
I want big rousing numbers.
Those are the ones I liked.
Thoughtful. The two of them laying in bed. I have a lot of problems. It's at times it's a parody of musicals, right? The second episode starts with Scott Porter, who plays the guy. Miguel was engaged, and this douchebag guy he works with, his best friend ostensibly, boned his fiance. And now
he was a woman. Yes.
Right. And now Scott Porter, the boner, the bastard who betrayed him, is stuck in his head all the time. And they do this 1980s, 90s ripoff, almost Eye of the Tiger song to open the second episode.
Oh, I loved it.
Which was a highlight and had nothing to do with the rest of the series. The rest of the series is sincere. And when they sing, it's to get a point across. And this was better. Why isn't it a parody?
Oh, that's funny. I didn't think it was a parody of musicals. I thought it was meant to be genuine. Like, he genuinely was like, I just got screwed over by my fiance. Now I'm going to be a tiger. And it's him sort of coming into his own of being like, now I'm going to be a banker. And I'm going to be
so over the top. That song. And I enjoyed that song. So I want more of that over the top energy. You're right that it was justified within the context. But
I agree. I think like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, right? That was a show that used over the top musicality.
Yes.
musical numbers. I agree. I thought that's kind of what this was going to be. And I thought, oh, this is cute. Like, I could watch all kinds of Crazy Ex-Girlfriends.
Right.
Like, they could do that show over and over as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
This feels like Tick, Tick, Boom with splashes of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and it's too confusing. Choose a lane, as you just said about something else, right? Pick a lane. Are you a sincere musical using music to move us, or are you mocking slightly the musical genres? I wanted the second, and it's 70% the first.
Yeah. And they do manage to sometimes, like they had this one part with 3-part harmonies, the 3 girls, his ex-girlfriend or the girl from high school who tortured him with 2 other women doing this kind of fun. But it wasn't a whole song. It was just like a little blip of something.
Right.
Right? I don't remember what the song was.
They cut off songs a lot, which I actually enjoy. They do a lot of false starts of songs, or a character's mid-swell and a car goes by and interrupts the song and they don't go back to it.
Yes.
And I think that's brave. I like that.
I like it too, because it also, like, first of all, you're in television, so you don't have to have the, like, you don't have to finish it up with a big fancy pose. It's not, you get to just cut it off midway. And it also matches the device of these things being in their head. This is a fantasy that they're having.
That was a fleeting thought as opposed to a fully realized thought process.
Yeah, exactly. I think, I will say this. So I was I have a tradition of sort of not caring for a first episode of something.
Yes.
Even like the very best television, I watched the first one and I have a tendency to be like, I don't know. And it's not till I really get invested in the characters and their journeys that I'm like into it and can't stop watching it.
Right.
So I watched the first episode and I was like, okay, for the sake of the podcast, for me to be able to talk about this successfully, I have to at least watch a second episode, right? And I go, but I don't know if I have time because, like, what first episode was an hour. So let me look. And I looked and I was like, oh, they're only 30 minutes. So that tells you how I was watching the first one going like, oh, they really should have made this a half hour.
Yeah. No, they are short and they still don't zip.
I think also, though, here, it's the dialogue and it's the comedy that's not the musical stuff that I'm having. I want it to just be paced up a little bit. The direction, by the way, I think is phenomenal.
Okay.
I love the way it's shot. I love the way the musical numbers are shot. Like, I, as a director, would watch that and go, holy shit. How does this guy use all the devices available to him to make this musical number sing? No pun intended, I love it. I think he's really talented visually, but there are some of the emotional and pace moments that are like, I just want him to be a little, I don't know.
Yeah.
Faster, maybe.
Mandy's playing podcast charades and doing a lot of physicality. She wants things to zip along faster and be amped up.
Thank you.
While we're on the musical numbers, there's not enough choreography for my taste. You know how much I enjoy choreography. And there's a lot of Mae Whitman walking down the street and someone twirling by her or scooping her up and putting her over there. But I want a full-blown choreographed number, not little drive-bys of dance.
Didn't they have at least one in each show? Like, didn't Mae Whitman, when she's finally realizing she's going to go to the club, wasn't there a big number with that one?
She's just walking down the street.
Really?
That's what I'm talking about. They never look like a flash mob. I want a full flash mob behind her. And instead it's just piecemeal move, keep her moving. I don't know if my instincts are that she probably can't dance, so she can't join a big flash mob and look good. But there are ways to cheat around it, or have her standing on a bench singing while we see actual choreography. I want more choreography. I always want more in my life.
Yeah.
In my bedroom. I want it everywhere.
I loved the choreography. Like, I mean, wasn't noticing whether it needed more or less, but the stuff I saw, like, I thought was great. I really was enjoying it. And I actually, it was something that I noticed that I marveled at. That's what I mean. I was like, clearly this guy's really good at musical theater.
Yes. Yeah. Thomas Kail.
Yeah.
He only directs the first 2, I think. So there is a shift after that.
That'll be interesting. We'll see what the third episode looks like.
Well, as I was watching and having the same thoughts you expressed about why are we doing the device of them being in their heads, I solved it.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, America and Hulu and Mandy.
Hulu has your number, right?
Obviously.
Yeah.
She is a burgeoning novelist. So it should be that she's writing this. Maybe at the end of the season, it will be. We'll pull back and see that this was a device she was using as a writer to tell this story. But that's what it should be. Then great. I buy that you have voices in your head. But to have it be set in a real world where the voices are singing and dancing, and that I didn't quite buy. So
yeah, that makes sense. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, they will have to go back, rewrite, reshoot the first season. That might be tricky given the financial landscape, but
should be
worth
fine.
it.
Should be fine.
Okay, great.
I love some of the casting of actual Broadway folks. Andrea Burns, I mentioned, and Katie Finneran. These are total Broadway Tony-nominated pros, potentially Tony winning. I don't know.
Katie Finneran, I know. How do I know her name? Like Broadway-wise. I recognize her.
I think Nice Work If You Can Get It was her most recent big thing. But I'm
going to play what I like to call the Patrick Fabian game. When people come up to him in an airport or on the beach or at an amusement park and they're like, where do I know you from? And he's like, well, do you watch Better Call Saul? And they're like, that's not it. No. And then he goes through
has to go through it. Right.
And they're like, no, I never watched that. And then he says, I'm Brad Pitt. It's nice to meet you.
So she has done Neil Simon's Proposal, Sally Bowles in the revival of Cabaret.
Oh.
Iceman Cometh with Kevin Spacey, My Favorite Year.
Okay.
She won a Tony for Noise Is Off.
Oh, that's what it is.
She took over Promises.
Noise Is Off. I saw Noise Is Off.
Okay.
That's what I know her from.
Oh,
okay.
It's only a play. Yeah, she's done a ton. And I remember her and love her from her. She did 2 or 3 episodes on Frasier as this woman named Poppy. And Poppy talked like this. And she was really annoying. But they gave her such heart. And she was very, very funny. So.
Hey, did you know? I'm sure you know that they're redoing Frasier.
Yeah. I do know. Huh? And I'm skeptical. I'm not a big reboot person. So we'll see.
Did you enjoy Will and Grace, the reboot?
I did. I thought that was one of the only ones that successfully really tapped back into it and gave us something new. I loved it.
Yep.
And while I'm talking about casting, I want to talk about Mae Whitman, whom I go back and forth on a lot. Mm-hmm. Not in this show. I think she's very good in this show. I was not a huge fan of hers on Good Girls, which is a show I really liked.
Oh,
And I know people know her from Parenthood. I never watched Parenthood.
Yes.
But I knew her as a child actress and I loved her. And I know her as the voice of Tinkerbell in all those Tinkerbell movies. And she's so good.
I didn't know she could sing. I only knew her. Yeah. I only knew her as an actress. I didn't know. Yeah. But I'm surprised at how light and bubbly and fun she is because I've only seen her do that other stuff, you know?
Yeah, she usually plays goth dark, right?
Yeah, sarcastic, and she's really got an ingenue thing going on, I think.
Yeah. She's great in this.
Yeah.
But my favorite Mae Whitman performance of all time, are you an Arrested Development fan?
Oh, my God. Yes, but I don't know.
She was Anne. George Michael's girlfriend, Anne, that Jason Bateman kept going, where's Anne? And she's like, I'm right here. And she was so invisible. And he the way they used her and every time the camera panned to her reactions were perfection and so priceless. She must have been 15 at the time or something.
Oh my God.
And I love her as Anne on Arrested Development and I had to shout it out.
I love that. Oh, God. Yeah. I need to go back and rewatch because I feel like it got swept up in the, oh, my God, this is the best show on television. And then I forgot to keep watching it. And you know what I mean? I think I'm not as well versed as I'd like to be.
It never loses its way. It is except the reboot. Then I didn't like it. But those original seasons.
Yeah.
Arrested Development. I'm just saying.
Hang on a second. She's back and better than ever.
Are you ready to mand job it or?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I am. You know, I give it 4. I mean, I give it 4. I want to keep watching it. It feels long to me, but I'm hoping it kind of finds its footing. I don't know. I'm still putting the pieces together on it a little bit. Like, I'm not going to run out and tell everybody they need to go watch it immediately. But I don't know anymore. I feel like shows are in their 3rd and 4th episode anyway before they start to get their groove. And I love. It's interesting because I love a music. I like this one more than I liked Schmigadoon. You loved Schmigadoon. I didn't like Schmigadoon.
I loved it, and then I progressively disliked it more as it went on. But I can't wait for Chicago. I'm so excited.
Wait, what? What's Chicago?
Season 2. Chicago.
Oh, shit, that's funny. That I'll watch.
Yeah. But I'm going to give it 3.5.
Yeah. Be careful with that extra point.
I know.
5.
There's a lot to like about the show, particularly the performers and the way they're putting it together.
Yeah.
I'm such a musical theater lover. If it were a non-musical, I would have only watched 2 episodes and it would be getting a 2.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
Having it be a musical keeps it interesting, and you don't know when a song is going to pop up, and the talent is just so winning. So I'm giving it 3.5, but I would not recommend it to anyone who's not a musical theater geek.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying to Jer, oh, you should really check it out. I'm not saying that.
I think I might start watching it with the kids. I don't know how. It's too bad that they have the porn stuff in it. Like that, there's little things there. It's pretty innocuous, but like
the first episode that there's a big hand job, and they talk about that hand job a lot as it goes.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind. I'm not watching it with the kids, but I wish I could. Like, I think we need a sweet little like a Schitt's Creek, but a musical. You know, something that's a little bit more tame.
Well, there's something coming up. So
what?
I'm not going to tell you because I'm going to assign it to you.
Oh, dang.
Not today,
okay.
Obviously. It's not my
not your
time.
Turn.
Not my time.
Not your time, babe.
All right,
okay.
Let's get our business out of the way.
Yeah, and by business, we don't mean our vaginas. We mean that Mandcave is a production of True Story FM, music by Ian Post, and engineering by the fabulously talented Pete Wright. And by the way, guys, if you want to leave us a little review or 5 stars, you can go right there to your Apple Podcasts and rate or review us there. We really appreciate it. We love hearing shout outs from our Fandys and new people making new friends.
Hi. No, Fun Zone Girl. Thank you for saying listening to the Mandys is like grabbing a cocktail with smart, funny, informed friends who also make you spit take said cocktail out of your nose at least once per episode.
Oh, my goodness.
Fun Zone Girl did not say pretty, so...
Oh, so she's not
right.
Yeah.
But thank you, Fun Zone Girl.
And Fun Zone Girl, just, you know, if you want to come on to the Discord and talk to us, mandcave.com/Discord is where you join in the convo. I think we should plan a time to have actual Cosmos while we record the podcast. That could be really fun.
I'll drink. I'll drink like a frat boy, but not Cosmos.
Oh, God. Sorry, Fun Zone Girl. You're 2 for 2.
I'll have a dirty mantini.
No, God, still so good.
Yeah. And get your merchandise, people. Go to mandcave.com/merch and get your t-shirts for the summer and sweatshirts for when you get out of the pool and it's a little chilly. Mandy's modeling
I'm wearing
hers.
one right now. Only Fandy's.
And travel mugs and wonderful stuff. It helps us keep this show going.
So, yes, thank you guys so much. We love you.
So, I loved when you did this, so I ripped it off. I'm doing a Mandlib.
Oh, fun. I love Mandlibs.
Yeah. So, everybody knows how this works. No explanation needed. I need the name of a celebrity.
Okay. Will Arnett. God, he'd be so happy that that was the first name that popped into my head. Don't you think?
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I need a plural noun.
A plural noun. Monkeys.
Mm-hmm. I need a verb.
Verb. Gesticulate.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a lot to write down. Sorry. You can just put gesture or wave. You know.
I need another plural noun.
Another plural noun. Hemorrhoids.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get the butt
I don't know how to
humor in there.
spell that.
Just okay.
I'm going to imply it. And another
roids.
plural noun.
Oh, all right. Fantasies.
Mm-hmm. And an adjective, please.
Warm. I once had a guy say that to me when we were making out. And I thought, we're never going to have sex. We were just kissing in my car. And he was like, oh my God, you're so warm. And I thought, as opposed to what? Like the dead bodies that you normally make out with? Like warm?
I don't care for that.
Yeah. But you know what? It turned out to be all right. We did end up having sex. You'll be happy to know.
Okay.
And it was a lovely experience for a couple months. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
it was
need
your
a
brother.
noun.
A noun. Statue.
Mm-hmm. And a noun.
Okay. A noun. Christmas tree.
You love the long ones.
Sorry. I need to just egg. How about egg? That's also a verb.
A location.
A location. Wait. Times Square. I wanted to say St. James something, but I don't know where that was coming from. So Times Square.
Hold on, please. This fills itself in. And then a noun.
Yeah. A noun. Fist.
Yep. And
also
another noun.
Another noun. Cereal.
Uh-huh.
What I had for breakfast. Fistfuls of cereal.
Could I have an adverb, please?
Adverb. Lightly.
And a verb ending in ing?
Stroking. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
There's a fist lightly stroking. I think it goes dirty. You're not even, I might have been saying stroking a cat or a dog, but go ahead.
A verb?
A verb. Wander.
And a noun?
Porpoise. You could say dolphin if it's easier.
And, okay.
I guess that's not really a noun. Like that's more of an animal. Do you want a noun?
Nope, I'm good. And a number?
Okay. 47.
And a noun.
Car.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You have just created a new musical.
Oh,
congratulations.
That's exciting. The gesticulation of 47 cars.
And if you Google it, this is what you'll find. Meet Mandy and Will Arnett. They are just two monkeys trying to make their relationship gesticulate.
Yeah.
Only one problem. They both hear hemorrhoids in their fantasies. It all began when Mandy discovered she wanted to find warm love. So she packed her statue and left Los Angeles to pursue her Christmas tree. While on the road, she sings a passionate ballad called Driving Towards Times Square. Meanwhile, Will Arnett is stuck in his job as a fist. Desperate for more, he wanders the street at night, belting out his feelings in a song called My Heart Wants Cereal. How would that one go, honey?
Oh.
Could I hear a little of it?
Absolutely. Tinkles in the bowl, right alongside my roll. It's cereal that I want.
Nice.
Almond milk or soy. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. They meet cute when Mandy arrives in the big city and lightly backs into him. Later that night, when he awakens from his coma to find her in his hospital room stroking at him, their hearts open and they wander in a beautiful duet called Now That I Found Porpoise.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomato gives When Mandy Met Will Arnett a 47%, and the Los Angeles Times calls it the best musical of all Car.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
It really is. Of all the Car, it is the best one.
There it is.
Aw, that was fun.
It's fun making Mandlibs too.
I enjoy it. Mandlibs, you mean? All right.
Mandlibs.
Now for next week. It's a little, I usually like to mix it up with genres and things. But this time we are going to watch Not Dead Yet.
Oh, a network show, right? It's like an ABC show.
I feel like it's on Hulu. Wait, where is it? It is, I believe. I don't know. I heard about it and I really enjoy the cast and I enjoyed it's on, it is on ABC, but it's also on Hulu. Yes.
Great.
And ABC,
I love Gina Rodriguez.
Fashion sitcom. I'm excited. I think the premise is really interesting. And we're going to see if we like it. We're just
great. And we have a mutual friend on it. Maybe we could get a little interview or appearance.
We do? Who's our mutual friend? Do we have
Miley
friends
Flanagan.
in common? I'm kidding.
Miley Flanagan is on it.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Maybe we can get an interview. Let's do it. Look how
All right.
fancy we are. Look how
I know,
Hollywood
right?
fancy. People are going to listen to this podcast and go, we knew them when.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They did and they do.
Yes. All right. Great. Well, that'll be fun.
All
I
right.
will see you next week.
Love
Enjoy
you.
your spring break. I love you.